Welcome back guys to another video. This is Kobe Shots and today we are talking about how to become a photographer. Photography has gained prominence over the past few years because of social media. That is according to me actually. I've been realizing this amount of people or number of people joining the pool of photographers, trying to also first of all make money, as well as try their hands on how creative they can be when it comes to photography. So I want to share with you a few things if you are also aspiring to become a photographer in the near future or even now. One of the things that I saw myself driven by was just the sight of a camera. Looking at a camera, seeing camera types, camera brands, new releases just caught my attention straight up, and I decided that I had to try it out. So I was fortunate enough to have met a TA, that's a teaching assistant from school, who gave me a couple of videos that I watched. It was a thorough sequential learning material that I got a whole lot of things that I needed to start my photography with. So all the steps from how to start photography with just your camera and nothing else but the sun, as well as how to understand lenses, what the writings on the lenses mean, as well as how to use them and how to make yourself creative as a photographer. So moving forward, I needed to have passion. Passion is very important in everything. For instance, me as a photographer, when I started, I needed to know that I really loved what photography was all about. This is the one major thing that will make you want to continue to do what you think you are interested in. If you start something new and you don't have passion for it whatsoever, you are going to fall short. You're going to stop somewhere. Now let's cut to the chase. What do you need to start photography with? You need obviously a camera. You need to understand what camera that you're going for, but as a beginner, all that you need is something not too expensive, because you don't have to bombard yourself with all the buttons that will be present on a high-end camera. So you get yourself a normal, low-end camera that you can understand the basics of photography with to start with. Then you can upgrade over time. That is when you are understanding what all the buttons may mean, how to apply the triangle of exposure, that's the ISO, the shutter speed, and aperture. All these things are very important, but you need to know why you are selecting this camera over which camera. Once you have your camera, you need to start with natural light. I would advise that you don't bombard yourself with all the complexities of artificial light, and be it a speed light, be it a studio strobe, HSS, that's high speed sync, and all the complexities that photography comes with. Start with the major basic ones, that is working with natural light. Find friends to take pictures of. These are the things that you can follow to be able to understand the basics in photography, so that the way forward things will become very easy for you. Once you've leveled up with your confidence, you can look at purchasing new equipment or new accessories into your arsenal. So you can consider looking at a new lens, you can consider looking at tripods, you can consider looking at all kinds of artificial lighting that you can afford. But to begin with, you can look at a speed light, an ordinary speed light that doesn't cost so much. So you start with these, then you advance into getting yourself much more expensive equipment that you actually understand. You don't just buy because you have a friend using this particular camera. You don't just buy because you've seen a friend of yours who does photography as well having this flash or whatsoever. You have to understand why you are making this purchase, and that will be important because you understand that I need to upgrade myself. I've gotten to this point where I have outgrown my equipment that I'm using, so I need to have new stocked up in my arsenal. That is when you can confidently say that you are improving in your photography. I practice photography in my church. If there's a program going on in my church, I'll take pictures of it and make sure that it gets to the media guys. After every ceremony, after every program that is held in the church, I make sure that we take pictures afterwards of all the guests, as well as people who are interested in getting pictures for themselves. Little did I know that this was actually going to turn out to be a business for me, because when I got to my final year, I realized that those whom I came to meet when I was in first year are getting married now, and so they started booking me up. Once I shoot person A's wedding, I've been recommended to person B, and it follows on and on and on, and that's how it started. You should be very careful when you are making your charging decisions. You shouldn't charge because your fellow photographer over there is charging these millions of CDs, and so you also have to do that. Nah, that's very wrong. Very, very, very wrong. You have to look within yourself, sit down, think through, look at your skill set, look at yourself. How developed are you? How professional are you? Look at all these things and make your pricing decisions. Otherwise, you're going to put on top of yourself so much pressure that it will be very, very, very difficult to pull off some certain projects. So be very careful. If you want to be like me, a wedding photographer, then you have to make sure that you have a good relationship building ability. Building rapport with this client that you're taking pictures of is very important, because the confidence that the client has in you begins to develop, begins to grow, and if you keep on with that, there are always going to be recommendations here and there coming after you, and before you realize, you're not going to have to advertise anymore. All that's going to fetch you work or fetch you projects are going to be referrals. So make sure that you build good relationship with your client today, and make sure that it moves on, because this client is going to be a client and also going to have another friend who is going to be your client someday. So take these tips very seriously and start your photography journey by that. Even though there are going to be challenges, because of these tips, I'm sure that you're going to know your way around it, and it's going to be like you've already experienced it. Thank you very much for staying up. If you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing, and also click on the bell notification button to be notified of all future videos that I post. Until then, have a wonderful day. Bye.